Okay, picture this. It's pitch black, freezing cold. You're on a winding road in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. You crash your car into a snowbank. It's not a massive wreck, just enough to leave you stuck. A bus driver stops, asks if you're okay, and you say, "Please don't call the cops." He leaves to call for help anyway. 7 minutes later, the police arrive. But you're gone. No footprints in the snow, no struggle, just vanished into thin air. This isn't a movie plot. This is the story of Maura Murray, the first crime mystery of the social media age, and honestly, it's the one case that keeps me up at night. Welcome to Elphenom. Let's get into it. So, before we get to that dark road, we gotta understand who Maura was. Because, on paper, she was 21, a nursing student at UMass Amherst, super athletic. She was recruited to West Point for track, which is huge. She was smart, pretty, had a boyfriend, seemingly had it all figured out. But here's the thing about perfect lives. There's usually cracks underneath. And in the days leading up to February 9th, 2004, Maura was unraveling. Just a few days before she disappeared, she was working her campus security job. Her supervisor found her at her desk, essentially catatonic, just staring into space. When asked what was wrong, she burst into tears and said, "My sister." To this day, we don't know exactly what that phone call was about, but it spooked her. Then there's the crash. No, not the one where she disappeared. Another one, specifically 48 hours earlier. She'd crashed her dad's Toyota into a guardrail after a party. That's a lot of pressure, right? You wreck your dad's car, you're stressed about school, maybe you're facing trouble. It's a perfect storm brewing. Fast forward to Monday, February 9th. This represents the timeline where things get really sketchy. Maura emails her professors and her work supervisor. She tells them there's been a death in the family and she needs to be away for a week. Here's the kicker, though. There was no death. She lied. She was planning an escape. But from what? Or who? She packs a bag. Not I'm moving away forever bag, but like toiletries, textbooks, workout gear. She hits up an ATM, withdraws $280, basically emptying her account, and then stops at a liquor store. She buys Bailey's, Kahlua, vodka, and a box of Franzia wine. She gets in her black 1996 Saturn sedan and starts driving north. No destination set on a GPS. No telling her friends. Just driving. Around 7:27 p.m., a resident near Woodsville, New Hampshire, hears a loud thump. Maura had missed a sharp turn on Route 112, known by locals as the Wild Ammonoosuc Road. Her car spun out and hit a snowbank. Now pay attention because this is the most critical part. A school bus driver named Butch Atwood stops. He sees Maura. She's alive. She's conscious. He offers to call the police. She begs him not to, claiming she's already called AAA, AAA. Butch knows there's zero cell service out there. He knows she's lying or confused. So he goes home, about 100 yards away, to call 911 from his landline. That call was logged at 7:43 p.m. The first police officer, Cecil Smith, arrives at 7:46 p.m. That is a 7 to 10 minute window. When Officer Smith walks up to the Saturn, the doors are locked. The airbags had deployed. There's a red stain on the ceiling, likely wine. The box of Franzia is on the back seat, but Maura? Gone. No footprints leading into the woods. No other tire tracks. Just an abandoned car and silence. Okay, let's peel back another layer, because the scene of the crash has details that just don't add up. First off, the rag in the tailpipe. When police found the Saturn, there was a white rag stuffed inside the exhaust pipe. Now, Fred Murray, Maura's dad, later explained this. He said he told Maura to do that if the car started smoking, to avoid getting pulled over. But to the cops on the scene, it looked like sabotage, or maybe a signal for help. It's one of those details that sends you down a rabbit hole. Then, 36 hours later, the scent dogs arrive. And this is crucial. They give the dog a scent from Maura's gloves. The dog tracks her scent about 100 yards east on Route 112, and then stops. Just dead stops in the middle of the road. This implies one major theory. She didn't wander into the woods. She got into a vehicle. Was it a tandem driver, someone she was traveling with? Or was it a crime of opportunity? A random predator passing by who saw a vulnerable girl in the dark? And remember, it's pitch black, no streetlights, and freezing cold. The snowbank wasn't that deep. If she ran into the woods, there would be footprints, but the snow was pristine, untouched. That leaves us with a terrifying reality. Maura likely left that scene on wheels, not on foot. Now, we have to talk about the locals. Small towns talk, and Woodsville is no exception. Over the years, some disturbing rumors have surfaced, specifically the A-frame house. Rumors swirled that Maura was taken to a party at a nearby A-frame house, drugged and killed. Years later, Fred Murray actually received a rusty knife that was supposedly found in that house. Can you imagine getting that in the mail? They even searched the property with ground-penetrating radar and found anomalies. But ultimately, no body was found. The DNA on the knife was inconclusive or not a match. But for many internet sleuths, this remains the most plausible theory for foul play. But then, there's the other side of the coin. The running away theory. Remember the alcohol, the emptied bank account, the lie about the death in the family. Some people, including the initial police investigators, fully believed Maura staged her own disappearance. They think she hitched a ride, crossed the border into Canada, and started a new life. But here's my problem with that. She left her contact lens case in the car. She left her jewelry. If you're starting a new life, do you really leave behind the things you need to see? It doesn't stick. For over a decade, this case felt cold, frozen, just like that road in 2004. But recently, the ice is breaking. Enter Julie Murray, Maura's sister. If you're on TikTok, you've probably seen her. She is a powerhouse. She's not letting the internet trolls control the narrative anymore. She's releasing factual information, debunking the crazy conspiracy theories, and humanizing Maura. Because that's what gets lost in true crime, right? We treat these people like characters in a Netflix show. But Maura was a real person. She was funny, she was struggling, she was loved. Julie has fought to get files released, fought to keep the police active. Because of her and the massive online community. Maura isn't just a missing poster anymore. She's a symbol of how the internet can actually help if we focus on facts, not fan fiction. So, where does that leave us? Was it a getaway gone wrong? Did she run into the woods and succumb to the elements, hiding in a place no search party has ever looked? Or did she open that car door for the wrong person? 20 years later, Route 112 is still quiet. But someone, somewhere, knows something. You don't just vanish without a trace. Secrets have a way of surfacing, usually when we least expect it. I want to know what you think. Look at the timeline pinned in the comments. Was the bus driver telling the whole truth? Was the tandem driver real? Drop your theory below. And hey, if you want us to cover more deep dives like this, smash that like button and hit the bell so you don't go missing when our next episode drops. I'm your name. This is Elphenom. Keep your doors locked. Good night.